Welcome back to the circle of Turkish Spotlight Secrets, the corner of the internet where we don't just chase stardust, we map the constellations and ask why they move. Settle in, because what we're about to explore doesn't feel like a trending tag, it feels like the ground itself shifting under Turkish pop culture. Before we unspool the thread, make sure you're subscribed and tap the bell so you're never the last to hear the whispers. And if deep, well-crafted stories are your thing, stories that go beyond rumor and into resonance, consider hitting join. Your support lets us keep digging for what really matters. Take a breath. This is the kind of revelation that arrives quietly, but leaves the room thunderstruck. For months, some would say years, one possibility has kept the fans' imagination blazing: Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda choosing each other for real, beyond the lenses and the lights. The names alone carry a voltage. They aren't just actors. They've become a language people speak when they want to talk about hope. Today isn't about idle speculation or yesterday's dusted-off gossip. Today is about a report loud enough to still the skeptics. Word is, they exchanged vows in secret on American soil. Not an echo. Not a fever dream. A ceremony, carefully planned like a heist of the heart, staged an ocean away from Istanbul's flashbulbs. Context matters. Gökberk and Cemre didn't simply hit their marks and recite dialogue. On screen, their energy crackled, suspense that made living rooms from Lisbon to Jakarta lean in, warmth that melted through the cold pain of a TV. They built careers on talent and timing, but their chemistry built a movement, blurring the line between character and confession. Fans always wished the credits would roll, but the romance would keep breathing. If this report holds, that wish just found its answer in the softest, strongest way a promise can be made. A vow spoken far from home, guarded like a flame in a windstorm, in a place chosen precisely because no one would expect it. Why America? Why the hush? Because for people living in the blast radius of fame, privacy is rarer than diamonds. Crossing the Atlantic isn't just a logistical choice, it's a manifesto. By placing an ocean between themselves and the relentless watch in Turkey, by selecting a time and place without the choreography of red carpets and tabloid timing, they declared that their love wasn't content. It wasn't a brand activation or a photo op engineered for virality. It was a shelter. A sanctuary. Their way of saying, this belongs to us first. Their circles, tight, loyal, fiercely protective, must have moved like shadows, trading messages on encrypted threads, mapping out moments that wouldn't leave traces. No waiter with a camera phone, no distant cousin betraying the secret for likes. In a business where loyalty is often a slogan, this feels like a rare pact, a conspiracy of care, a protective ring around something delicate and real. Think about the coordination required in an age where every pocket holds a lens and every hallway has a microphone. For them to pull this off. No leaks, no early photos, suggests the guest list wasn't just loved ones, but guardians of peace. Not attendees, but sentries. It turns a ceremony into an oath upheld by everyone present. Not only two voices saying yes, but many agreeing to defend that yes against noise. Turkish Spotlight Secrets family, let's pause. The clandestine wedding fantasy is irresistible, but it also poses a question about how we honor love. In a world that demands we share everything, what does it mean to keep the most luminous moment of your life in the shadows, at least for a while? If you lived under a spotlight that never turns off, would you throw the doors open and invite the spectacle, or would you slip away to a foreign city and let only the wind attend? Tell me in the comments, I read them all. If this kind of thoughtful dive resonates, tap like and consider joining the channel. Your support helps us bring nuance to stories that deserve more than a headline. Now, the geography of it. The United States is a canvas wide enough to hide a secret. Picture a coastal cliff in California, the Pacific foaming below, a private garden perched above the sea, where the only applause is the waves. Imagine them standing barefoot on weathered wood, speaking to each other in voices only they can hear. Or envision New York, where anonymity is an art form, a rooftop with ivy curling along brick, the skyline stretching like an oath behind them while traffic hums into a lullaby. Perhaps they chose the desert, the stark lines and absolute honesty of Nevada or Arizona, where a sunset strips everything down and leaves only the truth of two people choosing each other. Wherever it happened, that spot now belongs to them in a way maps can't capture. The internet felt the impact like an aftershock. Fans became sleuths overnight, combing through old footage, decoding captions, checking flight paths, squinting at reflections in sunglasses to find hints. Alongside the excitement, there's a mood I'd call vindication. For years, some dismissed their bond as performance, good for ratings, nothing more. But this? Staged so carefully, with privacy as the priority? This is the counterargument. While the discourse churned, they were laying down stones for a path that stretches forward, building something that doesn't flinch at scrutiny because it doesn't need to be approved to be true. Professionally, what does this mean? When two of the industry's brightest decide to be a family, the storylines around them shift. Casting directors might start reimagining pairings. Will producers lean into their real connection and craft projects that echo their life, giving audiences the thrill of art mirroring reality? Or will the industry keep them separate on screen to preserve some mystical divide between the private and the performed? Either way, the milestone redefines how the public reads them. They aren't just the dazzling leads of a summer phenomenon anymore. They're partners who have weathered the sideways glance of fame, navigated gossip's crossfire, and anchored themselves with a promise. It's easy to forget that beneath the styling and the choreography and the endless interviews, people are still people. There's a reason the most lasting moments often arrive without fanfare. By refusing to turn their wedding into a spectacle, by denying the idea that a love story requires spectacle to be real, Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda quietly reclaimed their narrative. They turned down the volume so they could hear themselves. The lesson is simple and radical: the deepest truths don't always want an audience, sometimes they want a room with one door and a lock that works. Now we wait for whatever confirmation feels right to them. Maybe a black and white photo where the light glides across their hands and gives nothing away but everything at once. Maybe a short joint note through a trusted representative, gracious, grounded, without the fireworks. Or maybe they'll keep it private until the memory has settled like a stone in a river, smooth and permanent. Whatever they do, one fact stands like a landmark: in a world tuned to chaos, they found a way to say yes to each other. They shut the door, dimmed the noise, and answered in a language made of glances and breaths and vows nobody else needed to hear. The saga of these two has always felt written by a romantic, slow-burn glances, honest laughter that lingers, a cadence that follows them off set. And yet this chapter, the secret American promise, might be the peak of their story so far. It's a tribute to privacy, a salute to courage, and a reminder that love is at its strongest when it chooses quiet over applause. We'll keep watching the horizon for details that might surface, responsibly, respectfully, without prying. And until any official word arrives, we celebrate them from a distance, the way you celebrate a sunrise you can't photograph because your hands are too busy warming in the light. Thank you for being here with Turkish Spotlight Secrets, for valuing stories that breathe. If you haven't yet, subscribe, like this video, and consider hitting join to become part of the heartbeat that keeps this channel alive. We appreciate you more than you know. Until we meet again, keep space in your day for the wonder you didn't plan on. Believe that the unexpected can still be kind. And remember, somewhere, maybe above an ocean or under a city sky, two people chose each other without asking anyone's permission, just as it should be. Now, let's take one last quiet look at the timeline we can imagine: the hushed flights, the discreet messages, the friendly faces who became gatekeepers for a few sacred hours. Think of a morning where rehearsals were replaced by reality, where the script was set aside because life finally had the better lines. Think of the moment when he took her hands and she didn't let go, when a gaze turned into a promise that didn't need to trend to be true. Think of how calmly the world can change when no one's performing for it. What remains is simple: they wanted something all of us want, to be seen truly by one person and to be believed. And sometimes, the bravest way to be seen is to step out of sight. There will be opinions, because there always are. Some will say they owed the public a spectacle. Others will understand that love is not a debt to be paid in photographs. In time, we'll learn exactly as much as they wish to share. Until then, intuition and respect will have to be enough. And if you listen closely, you can almost hear it, the after-sound of a small group applauding softly, the echo of two words that changed everything. Maybe it happened near the water. Maybe in the city sky. Maybe where the earth holds the sun in both hands. Wherever it was, it belongs to them. And more than any image could, that truth tells the whole story. This has been Turkish Spotlight Secrets, signing off with one final thought. When you guard your joy guards you back. Congratulations, Gökberk Yildirim and Cemre Arda, whatever shape your celebration took, it was enough. It was yours. And that makes it perfect.